Have you ever noticed how someone who is no longer in your life can still disturb your peace? They are gone, yet one memory can ruin your whole night. One thought can tighten your chest. One name can pull you back into feelings you wanted to escape. Strange, isn't it? How can someone absent still control what you feel? You try to move on, yet something unseen keeps pulling you backward. Stay with me tonight, because you'll discover the Buddhist truth about why the mind keeps holding on after people leave, and how to break their invisible power, heal the attachment, and finally return to yourself. They no longer control your life. Only the reactions still living inside you do. The first truth may sting a little, but it can also set you free. That person may not be doing anything to you now. They may be far away. They may not be thinking about you at all. They may have already moved into a new chapter of life. They may be living peacefully while you are still carrying storms they left behind. And that is why this pain feels so confusing, because part of you knows they are gone, but another part of you still reacts as if they are here. Your heart drops when you remember them. Your mood changes when their name appears. Your chest tightens when something reminds you of the past. A song can disturb you. A place can shake you. A small memory can ruin your whole evening. This can feel like they still control you. It can feel like they still hold a key to your emotions, like they can still enter your inner world whenever memory opens the door. But look deeper. What controls you now is not the person. It is the reaction still living inside you. This is very important to understand. Sometimes we think people continue hurting us from afar, but many times the pain we feel today is not a new wound. It is an old wound being touched again. Pain leaves marks. Love leaves marks. Rejection leaves marks. Confusion leaves marks. When emotions are strong, the body remembers them. The mind builds pathways around intense moments. It learns fear. It learns longing. It learns sadness. Then later, even when the person is no longer present, the body can repeat those same feelings automatically. That is why you may react before you even think. A memory appears, and sadness rises. A photo appears, and anxiety begins. Their name is mentioned, and your peace changes. It happens so fast that it feels like power, but it is not their power. It is an old pattern inside you asking to be healed. Think of it like an echo in an empty room. The voice is gone, but the sound still bounces. The person is gone, but the reaction still moves through you. And many people stay trapped because they blame the person for what now belongs to healing. They keep saying, "They ruined me. They still control me. I can never move on because of them." But these thoughts keep the chain alive. Try a new truth. Do not say, "They still control me." Say, "Old reactions are still active inside me." Say, "My body remembers what my mind is ready to release." Say, "This pain is not proof of their power. It is proof of healing work still needed." That small shift changes everything. Because when you believe they control you, you stay helpless. But when you understand reactions can be healed, hope returns. You cannot control another person. You cannot control who left, who changed, who forgot, or who failed to love you well. But you can heal what remains within you. You can calm the body. You can retrain the mind. You can stop feeding the memory. You can choose new thoughts. You can create peace where pain once lived. And one day, something beautiful happens. Their name appears, and nothing moves inside you. The memory returns, and it no longer owns your mood. The past knocks, and no one opens the door. That is the moment you realize they did not lose power because they changed. They lost power because you healed. You do not only miss them, you miss the version of yourself that existed beside them. This is one of the deepest truths most people never see. You think you miss the person. You think the pain is only about them leaving. You think the emptiness came because they are gone. You think if they returned, everything inside you would feel whole again. But if you sit quietly and look deeper, you may discover something surprising. You do not only miss them, you miss the version of yourself that existed beside them. You miss who you were in that season of life. The you who smiled more easily. The you who woke up excited. The you who felt chosen. The you who had someone to share thoughts with. The you who believed beautiful things were still possible. The you who felt seen, wanted, and emotionally alive. Sometimes a person does not just enter your life. They awaken certain parts of you. They awaken softness. They awaken hope. They awaken energy. They awaken dreams that had been sleeping for years. Then, when they leave, it feels like those parts leave too. So now the pain becomes confusing, because you are not only grieving the person, you are grieving the version of yourself that disappeared when the chapter ended. This is why some people cannot let go. They keep telling themselves, I need them back. They were everything. No one will make me feel like that again. But many times, what they truly mean is, I want to feel alive again. I want to feel loved again. I want to feel like myself again. Do you see the difference? The mind often attaches your feelings to one person. It says, they were the source of my joy. They were the reason I felt valuable. They were the only reason life felt bright. But this is not fully true. No person creates your worth. No person manufactures your light. They may reflect parts of you back to yourself. They may awaken emotions already living inside you. They may unlock doors within you. But the room was always yours. The love you felt came through your heart. The joy you felt was experienced through your mind. The warmth you felt lived inside your nervous system. The hope you felt rose from within you. They may have triggered it, but they did not own it. This matters deeply, because if you believe they owned those feelings, you will chase them forever. But if you realize those feelings were always possible inside you, freedom begins. You do not need the old person to meet the old version of you again. You can become someone even stronger. You can become the version of yourself that no longer needs outside approval to feel worthy. You can become the version of yourself who creates joy without begging for attention. You can become the version of yourself who feels peaceful alone. You can become the version of yourself who loves without losing identity. Sometimes life removes a person because you were never meant to stay the old self. You were meant to grow beyond that chapter. So yes, maybe you miss them. But more than that, you miss the energy, innocence, and hope that once lived in you. And that is beautiful news. Because people may leave, but you can rebuild yourself. You can reconnect with your laughter. You can return to your confidence. You can create new memories. You can feel alive in new ways. You are not locked outside the best version of yourself. You are becoming a new one, and one day you will realize you were never searching for them. You were searching for the parts of yourself you forgot how to hold. When you reclaim those parts, their shadow fades, and your real healing begins. The mind turns what it cannot have into something greater than it was. This is one of the quiet tricks of the human mind. When something becomes unavailable, it often becomes more valuable in memory. When someone is close, you see them clearly. You notice their flaws. You feel their inconsistency. You experience the confusion they create. You see the moments they disappoint you. But when they leave, something changes. Distance begins to edit reality. The mind slowly removes the hard parts. It softens the painful moments. It blurs the nights you cried. It hides the times you felt ignored. It forgets the disrespect you accepted. It keeps only selected memories and places golden light around them. Now the person who once caused confusion begins to look perfect. Now the relationship that drained you begins to look magical. Now the chapter that hurt you begins to feel like the best thing that ever happened. This is why many people suffer long after someone leaves. They are no longer grieving reality. They are grieving an upgraded memory. The mind often turns what it cannot have into something greater than it was. It does this because loss creates longing, and longing can be dangerous when mixed with imagination. The less access you have to truth, the easier fantasy becomes. When they were present, reality corrected the story. You knew their silence. You knew their coldness. You knew the mixed signals. You knew how anxious you felt around them. You knew how often you gave more than you received. But once they are gone, reality stops speaking. Now, imagination takes the microphone. And imagination can be persuasive. It says, "They were the only one for you. No one will compare. You lost something rare. You will never feel that again." But be careful. The mind says these things most loudly when it feels lonely, rejected, or afraid. Sometimes you do not miss the person. You miss the fantasy built after the loss. This is why people return to relationships that once broke them. They are chasing the memory, not the truth. They are chasing highlights, not the full story. They are chasing moments, not patterns. Buddhist wisdom teaches the importance of seeing clearly, not through craving, not through loneliness, not through fear of being alone, but through awareness. Ask yourself honestly, did this connection truly bring peace, or only moments of pleasure mixed with pain? Did I feel safe, or constantly uncertain? Did I feel respected, or emotionally hungry? Did I love them, or did I become attached to the chase? These questions wake the mind from illusion, because many people confuse intensity with love. They confuse obsession with destiny. They confuse unpredictability with passion. But chaos is not connection. Emotional hunger is not intimacy. Painful attachment is not sacred love. Sometimes what felt powerful was only unstable. Sometimes what felt unforgettable was only unresolved. Sometimes what felt rare was simply unavailable. The mind often worships what wounded it because wounds crave explanation, but not everything painful was precious. Remember this gently. Just because something was hard to get does not mean it was good for you. Just because someone was difficult to keep does not mean they were meant for you. Just because you cannot have it now does not mean it was valuable then. Value is not measured by difficulty. Value is measured by truth, peace, respect, and growth. When you begin to remember the full picture, the spell weakens. You remember the anxiety. You remember the imbalance. You remember how often you doubted yourself. You remember how tired your heart became. And suddenly, what looked golden becomes human again. Not perfect, not magical, not your only chance. Just a chapter. One that taught you something. One that shaped you. One that ended for a reason. And one day, you will thank life for removing what memory once begged to keep, because clarity is kinder than fantasy. And truth is the first step toward freedom. Unfelt pain and unspoken emotions keep the door open to their shadow. Many people believe they are still attached to a person, but often they are not attached to the person anymore. They are attached to the pain that was never fully felt. They are attached to emotions that were pushed down, hidden, delayed, or ignored. This is why someone can leave your life, yet still remain heavy in your mind. Because bodies remember what hearts avoid. Minds repeat what souls were never allowed to process. You may think you miss them, but sometimes what you truly carry is unfinished emotion. The tears you never cried, the anger you never admitted, the questions you never got answered, the truth you were afraid to face, the goodbye you never accepted. The hurt you pretended did not matter. When pain is not felt, it does not disappear. It waits. It hides beneath distraction. It hides beneath busyness. It hides beneath pride. It hides beneath, "I'm fine." It hides beneath new conversations and temporary pleasures. But hidden pain does not stay silent forever. It returns in quiet moments. At night, when the room is still. During lonely afternoons. When a song plays unexpectedly. When someone mentions their name. When life slows down enough for truth to be heard. Then suddenly, they are in your mind again. Not because they are your destiny. Because your emotions are still asking to be seen. This is one of the deepest misunderstandings people make. They chase the person when they actually need to face the feeling. They think, if I talk to them again, I'll feel better. If they apologize, I'll heal. If they explain everything, I'll finally move on. Sometimes closure from another person helps, but many times the real closure was always inside you. Because no apology can feel what you refuse to feel. No message can grieve for you. No explanation can release emotions you keep locked inside. Only honesty can do that. Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering continues when we resist what is present. When sadness comes, we run. When anger rises, we suppress it. When grief appears, we distract ourselves. When truth knocks, we pretend not to hear it. And whatever we resist often remains. So the mind keeps returning to the same person, the same memory, the same chapter. Not because life wants you stuck there, because emotion wants completion. Pain wants to move. Grief wants to be honored. Truth wants to be spoken. This is why healing can feel uncomfortable at first. You may need to sit with sadness you avoided for months. You may need to admit you were hurt more deeply than you wanted to believe. You may need to confess that part of you wanted love from someone who could not give it. You may need to grieve not only the person, but the dream you built around them. That takes courage. But this courage is holy, because the tears you fear may become the water that cleanses your heart. The truth you avoid may become the key that frees your mind. Ask yourself gently, what did I never allow myself to feel? Was it rejection? Was it betrayal? Was it shame? Was it loneliness? Was it the pain of not being chosen? Was it anger for how you were treated? Was it grief for what could have been? Do not judge the answer, just witness it. Give language to what lived in silence. Say, yes, I was hurt. Yes, I was disappointed. Yes, I wanted more. Yes, I deserved clarity. Yes, I am grieving. These simple truths can open doors years of overthinking could not. Because healing begins where pretending ends. And something beautiful happens when emotions are finally felt. The mind stops chasing the person. The heart stops begging the past. The body softens. The story loses intensity. Their shadow grows weaker. Not because they changed, because you stopped abandoning yourself. Remember this always. Unspoken pain becomes mental noise. Unfelt grief becomes attachment. Unprocessed emotion becomes obsession. But when pain is honored, it transforms. When tears are allowed, peace enters. When truth is faced, the door begins to close. And once that inner door closes, their shadow can no longer live there. Attachment tricks you into believing peace is still waiting outside you. This is one of the most painful illusions the mind can create. Attachment speaks softly, but it speaks with great power. It tells you that peace is somewhere outside you. It tells you that calm will come later, that healing will come someday, that happiness is waiting in another person's hands. It whispers, if they come back, you will be okay. If they finally understand you, the pain will end. If they apologize, your heart will rest. If they choose you again, everything will feel right. If you get one last conversation, you will be free. So you wait. You wait for a message. You wait for closure. You wait for justice. You wait for recognition. You wait for someone else to unlock a door that was always inside you. And while you wait, life quietly passes. Days move, months move, seasons move, but the heart stays standing in the same place. This is how attachment steals years. Not always through dramatic pain, sometimes through endless postponement. You keep telling yourself, I will start healing after. I will move on when. I will feel peace if. And peace becomes a future event instead of a present choice. Buddhist wisdom teaches that suffering grows whenever we tie our inner state to changing things. People change. Feelings change. Promises change. Circumstances change. Even the people who swear forever can become strangers. So, if your peace depends on what changes, your peace will always shake. This is why many people feel emotionally homeless. They built their peace on unstable ground. They built it on another person's attention, another person's consistency, another person's approval, another person's desire to stay. And when that person changes, everything inside collapses. But peace was never meant to be built there. Peace was never meant to live in someone else's mood. Peace was never meant to depend on another person's memory of your worth. Peace begins when you return home to yourself, when you stop asking others to carry what only you can build, when you stop begging the outside world to fix an inside wound, when you stop believing another human being is the gatekeeper of your emotional life. This does not mean love is bad. This does not mean connection is wrong. It means love becomes beautiful only when it is shared by two whole people, not used as medicine for an empty self. Many people do not want the person. They want relief. They want silence in the mind, warmth in the chest, safety in the body, hope in the morning. And because those feelings once appeared during the relationship, the mind wrongly concludes they are the source. But they were not the source. They were one experience through which certain feelings arose. Those feelings can arise again through healing, growth, peace, purpose, friendship, prayer, awareness, and self-respect. You are not locked out of peace because someone left. You are only forgetting where peace truly lives. Ask yourself honestly, how much of my suffering comes from what happened, and how much comes from believing I need something outside me to be okay? That question can change a life, because the moment you see attachment clearly, its voice becomes weaker. You begin to notice how it manipulates. It says, just check their page once. Just wait a little longer. Just one message would solve everything. Just hearing from them would heal you. But healing built on someone else's action is fragile healing. Real healing remains even when silence continues. Real healing remains even when they never apologize. Real healing remains even when no explanation arrives. That is strength. That is freedom. That is inner wealth. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you no longer need their text to smile. You no longer need their regret to feel worthy. You no longer need their return to feel complete. Imagine how light your chest would feel. Imagine how much energy would return. Imagine how much life was waiting behind that illusion. Attachment says peace is outside. Wisdom says peace is within. Attachment says wait. Wisdom says begin now. Attachment says someone else holds the key. Wisdom says the door was never locked. So, take one step back toward yourself. Breathe. Feel your feet on the ground. Notice this moment. You are alive now. You are enough now. You can begin now. And the more you return to yourself, the more you understand. Peace was never waiting outside you. You were the one it was waiting for. Every time you replay the story, you tighten the chain around your mind. Most people do not realize this truth. The mind becomes stronger through repetition. Whatever you return to again and again begins to shape your inner world. A thought repeated many times becomes a belief. A memory repeated many times becomes an identity. A painful story repeated many times becomes a prison. This is why some people remain emotionally trapped long after a person has already left. The relationship may be over. The contact may be gone. The chapter may be finished. But inside the mind, it keeps happening. Again and again and again. You replay the last conversation. You replay what they said. You replay what you should have said. You replay the day they changed. You replay the moment they left. You replay old memories and compare them with your empty present. And each time you do this unconsciously, the chain becomes tighter. Many people think they are remembering, but often they are rehearsing pain. They think they are searching for answers, but often they are feeding confusion. They think they are staying connected, but often they are staying wounded. This is how the mind works. Whatever receives repeated attention gains emotional power. That is why one memory can become bigger than reality. That is why one person can feel impossible to forget. That is why one story can dominate years of your life. Not always because it was the deepest love. Sometimes because it became the most repeated thought. Read that again in your heart. Some people are not trapped by the person. They are trapped by the mental habit of returning to the person. This is a powerful difference, because habits can be changed. Notice the ways people tighten their own chains without knowing it. They reread old messages late at night. They check social media just once more. They imagine who the person is with now. They replay old laughter while forgetting old pain. They create fake conversations in their head. They ask why 1,000 times. They tell the same sad story to themselves every day. Each act seems small, but small acts repeated become strong chains. One drop of water seems harmless, but endless drops can carve stone. One painful thought seems small, but endless painful thoughts can shape a life. Buddhist wisdom teaches that attention is sacred. Where your attention goes, your energy follows. Where your energy goes, your life slowly forms. So, if your attention keeps living in the past, your present becomes weak. If your attention keeps serving pain, peace remains hungry. If your attention keeps feeding memory, healing starves. This does not mean force yourself to forget. Forgetting is not the goal. Freedom is the goal. And freedom begins by noticing when the mind starts replaying the old movie. You notice the urge to revisit their page. You notice the urge to imagine their regret. You notice the urge to reopen old wounds for one more look. And instead of obeying every urge, you pause. That pause is power. That pause is how chains loosen. You gently redirect yourself back to your breath, back to your body, back to what is real right now, back to the life still waiting for your presence. At first, the mind may resist. It may say, just one more memory, just one more check, just one more thought, just one more time. But the mind says this because repetition became comfort, even when it hurts. Pain can become familiar, and the familiar can feel safe. But familiar pain is still pain. You deserve more than what is familiar. You deserve what is freeing. So begin replacing old repetition with new repetition. Repeat self-respect. Repeat silence. Repeat healthier thoughts. Repeat new routines. Repeat choosing yourself. Repeat returning to now. Slowly, the chain weakens. Slowly, the story loses heat. Slowly, their face appears less often. Slowly, your heart breathes again. One day, you will notice something beautiful. You remembered them, and nothing collapsed. You thought of the past, and peace remained. The story knocked, but you did not let it move in again. That is healing. That is growth. That is the moment you understand. The chain was never made of them alone. It was made of repetition. And once repetition changes, everything changes. The moment awareness wakes up, their invisible power begins to collapse. There comes a quiet moment in healing that many people almost miss. It is not dramatic. There is no loud breakthrough, no message arrives, no apology appears. No sudden miracle changes everything overnight. The outside world may look exactly the same. They may still be gone. They may still be silent. They may still never explain anything. And yet, something inside you begins to change. You start to see. This is the moment awareness wakes up. And when awareness wakes up, invisible power begins to collapse. Before awareness, the mind runs the whole inner world. A memory appears, and you drown in it. Their name appears, and your mood changes. A lonely night comes, and you start missing them again. A random thought enters, and suddenly the whole past feels alive. You do not notice the process. You simply become the feeling. You become the sadness. You become the anger. You become the longing. You become the fear. This is unconscious living. The mind creates movement, and you follow it without question. But awareness changes everything. Awareness is the light entering a dark room. Nothing new had to be added. The darkness simply cannot remain the same once light arrives. Now, a memory appears, and you notice it. Now sadness rises, and you witness it. Now longing comes, and you name it gently. Now the mind starts telling old stories, and you recognize the pattern. This distance is sacred, because when you can observe something, you are no longer trapped inside it. The thought says, I still need them. Awareness says, a thought is passing through me. The feeling says, my life was better with them. Awareness says, a painful memory is speaking. Fear says, you will never move on. Awareness says, this is fear, not prophecy. Do you see the shift? Before awareness, every thought feels true. After awareness, thoughts become events passing through the sky of the mind. Some are heavy clouds, some are storms, some are only smoke. But none of them are the sky itself. You are the sky. This is why Buddhist wisdom places such deep value on observing the mind. Not every thought deserves belief. Not every emotion deserves obedience. Not every memory deserves a throne. Many people suffer because they treat every inner movement as truth. They think, if I feel it, it must be real. If I think it, it must matter. If I miss them, it must mean they belong to me. But feelings come and go. Thoughts come and go. Urges come and go. Awareness remains. And the more you rest in awareness, the weaker their invisible power becomes. Why? Because their power was never magic. It was unconscious reaction. It was automatic pain. It was stories repeated without witness. The moment witnessing begins, the machine starts slowing down. You may notice, their name appears, but your chest stays calm. A memory returns, but it no longer ruins your day. You feel lonely, but you no longer confuse loneliness with love. You miss the feeling, but you no longer worship the person. This is growth. This is inner maturity. This is freedom being built quietly. At first, awareness may come for only a few seconds. You notice one thought. You catch one pattern. You pause before reacting one time. That small pause matters more than you think, because one conscious pause can begin ending years of unconscious suffering. Then slowly, those pauses grow. You stop checking their page. You stop feeding imaginary conversations. You stop reopening wounds to feel connected. You stop handing power to shadows. And something beautiful rises in the empty space. Peace. Not the fragile peace that depends on someone returning. Real peace. Peace that comes from seeing clearly. Peace that comes from no longer being fooled by the mind. Peace that comes from standing in your own presence. One day you will realize they did not become smaller. You became more awake. They did not lose importance because life changed. They lost importance because illusion ended. Remember this always. Anything that controls you in darkness weakens in awareness. Anything that survives through confusion fades in clarity. Anything that feeds on unconsciousness trembles when presence arrives. So when the old thoughts come tonight, do not fear them. Just watch. Watch the memory. Watch the ache. Watch the story trying to begin again. And in that watching, something powerful happens. You remember that you are not the pain. You are the one who can see it. And the moment you truly see it, their invisible power begins to collapse. Letting go is not losing them. It is, finally, returning to yourself. Many people fear letting go more than they fear suffering. They stay attached to pain because pain at least feels familiar. They stay connected to memories because memories feel safer than the unknown. They keep holding on to someone absent because part of them believes holding on is love. So they remain in a quiet prison. Not because the door is locked, because they are afraid to walk out. This is why letting go feels so difficult. It is not only the loss of a person, it feels like the loss of hope, the loss of a dream, the loss of what could have been, the loss of the future you imagined, the loss of the version of life you once prayed for. Sometimes you are not grieving them. You are grieving the story you built around them. You are grieving the mornings you imagined together, the conversations that never happened, the healing you hoped they would bring, the life your mind promised if only they stayed. That is why letting go can feel like death to the ego, because the ego hates endings. It wants unfinished stories to continue. It wants old doors to remain half open. It wants one more chance, one more sign, one more message, one more miracle. But deep wisdom knows something else. Some doors hurt because they were never meant to become homes. Letting go is not losing them. It is losing the illusion that your life depends on them. It is losing the belief that they were your only chance at love. It is losing the habit of feeding pain and calling it loyalty. It is losing the pattern of abandoning yourself to keep hope alive. And what you lose in illusion, you gain in truth. Many people think letting go means forgetting. It does not. You may still remember them. You may still appreciate what was good. You may still carry lessons from that chapter. Memory can remain, but bondage can end. You can remember without craving. You can honor the past without living inside it. You can bless what happened without begging for it back. That is mature healing. That is strength with softness. That is freedom without bitterness. Letting go also does not mean they meant nothing. Some people mattered deeply. Some chapters changed you forever. Some people awakened wounds you needed to heal. Some people awakened love you did not know you could feel. Their role may have been real, but their role may have been temporary. Not everyone who matters is meant to stay. Some come to teach. Some come to mirror. Some come to break old patterns. Some come to show you where you still abandon yourself. Some come only to lead you back home. And home is you. This is the part many people forget. While chasing someone else, they leave themselves behind. They lose sleep. They lose dignity. They lose presence. They lose self-respect. They lose the ability to enjoy simple moments. They lose years waiting for what may never return. So letting go is not walking away from love. It is walking back toward yourself. It is saying, I will no longer starve my present to feed my past. I will no longer beg memory to become reality. I will no longer call suffering devotion. I will no longer confuse waiting with loyalty. I will no longer treat my peace as negotiable. These are sacred decisions. Because every time you choose yourself, something wounded inside begins to heal. Your nervous system softens. Your mind grows quieter. Your body feels lighter. Your mornings stop beginning with them. Your nights stop ending with them. Your energy starts returning to your own life. Slowly, you notice beauty again. A sunrise feels warm. Food tastes fuller. Music sounds different. Laughter returns naturally. You begin caring about your future again. This is what many people call moving on, but it is deeper than that. It is coming back to life. At first, letting go may feel empty, because the space once filled by obsession becomes silent. Do not fear that silence. Silence is where your real self has been waiting. Silence is where clarity grows. Silence is where self-love becomes believable. Silence is where new beginnings quietly form. Then one day, you realize something beautiful. You did not lose the love of your life. You lost the attachment that was blocking your life. You did not lose your chance. You reclaimed your power. You did not become alone. You became available for something healthier. You did not become empty. You became open. And maybe the greatest truth of all is this: the person you were trying so hard not to lose was yourself. Now you have found them again. So let the chapter close with grace. Bless what it taught you. Release what it cost you. Carry the wisdom. Leave the chain. Walk forward gently, because letting go is not losing them. It is finally returning to yourself. So breathe now, slowly. You have carried this story long enough. You have carried the memories, the questions, the silent pain, the weight of what never became what you hoped. You carried their absence like it was your burden to keep, but it was never yours to carry forever. Some people enter our lives to stay. Some people enter our lives to teach. Some people break our hearts only to show us where we had abandoned ourselves. And some endings come not to destroy you, but to return you to you. Maybe they were never the loss. Maybe losing yourself inside the story was the real loss. And maybe this moment, right now, is where you begin to come back. You do not need one more sign. You do not need one more message. You do not need one more explanation. You do not need them to understand your pain before you heal it. You are allowed to release what never chose to remain. You are allowed to stop reopening wounds just because they feel familiar. You are allowed to love what was, and still let it go. That is not weakness. That is wisdom. That is strength. That is self-respect finally waking up. So tonight, loosen your grip. Let the past be past. Let the memory be memory. Let the lesson remain, and let the suffering leave. What is meant for you will not require you to betray your peace. What is real will not survive only in confusion. What is healthy will not ask you to disappear to keep it alive. And what is truly yours will meet you in clarity, not chaos. One day, this pain will feel like a distant season. One day, their name will no longer shake your chest. One day, you will thank life for closing a door your wounded heart begged to keep open. Until then, be gentle with yourself. You are not broken. You are becoming free. You are not empty. You are making space. You are not losing love. You are learning where love must begin. With you. And maybe tonight, for the first time in a long time, you can rest. If this message reached a place in your heart that needed healing, subscribe to Golden Lotus Wisdom for more peaceful teachings on letting go, inner strength, and freedom of the mind. And if someone you care about is quietly carrying this pain, share this with them. Sometimes, one gentle reminder can help a heavy heart begin again.